Before we continue working on this worksheet together, take a moment to read this question and set up the two equations that are needed. All right, so now that you should have the equations set up, we are looking at number 4. An angle is 25 less than its complement. Well, I have an angle and its complement. That means they're complementary, so I'm going to have x plus y equals 90. This should be the first part of your setup. Then your angle, which we call x, is 25 less than its complement. So x is equal to its complement, and it's 25 less than its complement, so it's its complement minus 25. At this point, these should be the two equations that you've set up, and then at this point, all we need to do is solve for x and then y. Let's take a look one more time at how to do that together. So I have the two equations, x plus y equals 90, and then x equals y minus 25, because x is 25 less than its complement is y, so x is y minus 25. Well, I don't really even need to do anything. I can just replace x from the original from one of my original equations into the other parts. So I know that x is actually just y minus 25, so I can substitute that in here, and instead of writing x, I can have, well, y minus 25, and then I'll bring down the rest of what's already there. So y minus 25 plus y equals 90. I'll combine the like terms. I have a y and a y, so that gets me to 2y, I have 2 y's, minus 25 equals 90. I then need to start getting y by itself, so I'll add 25 to both sides. I get 2 y's equal to 115, I believe. 90 plus 20 should be 110, plus 5 more is 115. Yep, so 2y equals 115. I then need to get y completely by itself, so I'll divide both sides by 2, and then y is equal to 115 divided by 2 is 57.5 degrees. Now I just need to go back to either of my original equations, replace the y with 57.5, and then figure out what x is going to be. I'll replace it over here. So I have x plus y, nope, sorry. Well then, instead of using this one, I'll use this equation. So x plus y equals 90. Since y is actually just 57, I have x plus 57, 57.5 equals 90. And then, sorry, that's an equal sign. Then I need to take away 57 from both sides. Minus 57.5 minus 57.5. Those cancel out, and I get that x is equal to, we'll just plug this into the calculator for time's sake. X should be equal to 32.5. And if we check the question again, so now I just found that y is 57 and x is 32.5, so we now have y is 57, x is equal to 32.5, and sorry, y is 57.5, I keep missing that one. Now, x is my angle, y is its complement. Let's make sure that this is right. X should be 25 less than its complement. So if I take 25 away from my y, I should get x. Well, if I do 57.5 minus 25, I should end up with 32.5. So we got it right. That is the correct answer. Finally, let's do number 5 together. So number 5, actually, I'll give you a moment to answer this on your own. Once you are done, unpause the video, and I will show you how we can do this together. Okay, number 5. One of two supplementary angles is 35 degrees more than twice the other. Find each angle. Well, it's two supplementary angles, so I'm going to have x plus y is equal to 180 degrees. Next, I have that one of those angles is equal to 35 degrees more than, so 35 more than 2 times the other one. So these are my two equations. All I need to do next is just solve for x and y, and I'll have solved the problem. Let's move on to a blank sheet of paper so we have a little more space to do this. The two equations that I had were x plus y is equal to 180 because they're supplementary. I then have that x is equal to 35 more than twice the y. So I now just let's solve for y, because I already have x all by itself here, which means I can replace my x in this equation with 35 plus 2y, because x is 35 plus 2y. So I'll replace this x with what it also is equal to. 35 plus 2y plus the y is equal to, and I'm just bringing down what's over here, what's left, is equal to 180. These parentheses have nothing to do because these two I can't combine. I'm left with 35 plus 2 y's and one more y is 3y equals 180 degrees. I then need to get y by itself, so I'll take away 35 from both sides. Those cancel out. I have 3y is equal to 180 minus 35 becomes 175. 175 minus 30 is 145, I believe. 180 minus 35, 145. Then I'm going to divide by 3 on both sides to end up with y is equal to 145 divided by 3. This one I want to do on my calculator because it is 48.3 repeating. This just means 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3 going on forever after the decimal. Now that I've found y, I can replace it. Let's replace it in this equation. So I'll rewrite it. I have x plus y equals 180. I know that y is actually just 48.3. So I get x plus 48.3 repeating equals 180. To get x by itself, I had to take away 48.3 from both sides. So 180 minus 48.3, 3, 48.3 repeating minus 48.3 repeating. X should be equal to, let's give it a little more space. X should be equal to 131.6 repeating. So I now have my x and I have my y. Let's go back to the question just to make sure that makes sense. So I have y is equal to 48.3 repeating. Y is equal to 48.3 repeating. And x was 131.6 repeating. X is equal to 131.6 repeating. Well, x should be equal to 35 more than twice our y. So let's just plug this in and see if it works out. My x is 131, so I'll rewrite this as 131.6 repeating, and that should be equal to, well, this side of the equation, and I'll just replace the y with what it's equal to, 48.3. So 35 plus 2 times 48.3 repeating. 131, nothing to do on this side. PEMDAS tells me to do the 2 times 48.3 repeating first. 2 times 48.3, and I'll write a bunch of 3's in here. That's going to be equal to 96.6 repeating. I now have 35 plus 96.6 repeating. And 96.6 repeating is going to be 101 and 30 more is 131, and that 0.6 repeating is going to stay there. So 131.6 repeating is equal to 131.6 repeating. It looks like we found the correct answer. That was a nice check. So we found that I have two angles that are supplementary, 48.3 repeating and 131.6 repeating. We checked that their relation worked out, that x was 35 more than twice my y, and that's it.